Shalom, shalom, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Lakah, Kadash, Edabohana to the elder and the apostles of the Timistone who do well, a peace, a blessing, and salutation to you, Akiamu, pushing this truth to the four winds of the heavenly and beyond the forefront of the spiritual war to make sure Jerusalem is established as a praise here on yes again, as in the days of old. So, as the collapse of the dollar can't be ignored anymore, man. Which is the emerging of the BRICS digital currency, which will be backed by gold, man. See, and that will serve a multiple purpose, man. It will create regional powers within the BRICS. It will destabilize the dollars, all the dollars which have been printed in circulation throughout the world since the Bretton Woods Agreement. When you go back to the history of America, when we came out of World War II, since the time of World War II, and going all the way to Pearl Harbor, whereas there was that was a false flag, man, like September 11, because the American politicians were divided on whether to intervene on the war which was going on in Europe, man. So after the Pearl Harbor moment, so the lawmaker of America decided that they will intervene to stop the coal Nazi Germany, man, by supplying ammunition to the people who were at the forefront, the European people, the Soviet people. Those are the people who were at the front line at that time. So they succeeded in defeating the Axis power, man, which was headed by Germany. So they drew what you call a Marshall Plan, and the Marshall Plan was to rebuild Europe after World War III, because America was this huge manufacturing base, man. America was at the peak compared to other nations. So America became strong militarily because they won World War II. And again, you have the Bretton Woods Agreement, where the dollar was made the world reserve currency, man. At that time, which was backed by gold. So America became the military superpower. America became a dominating country when it comes to the dollar, and also fast forwarding to the Cold War, man. Actually, America started being challenged. The downfall of America started in the 70s, man. Actually, the late 60s, going all the way to the Cold War, man, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and all of that, man. And they managed to fend off the threat of the Soviet country, man, the Soviet Union, so to speak. Up until now, man, I was watching a video. Actually, I will praise that video. This video here, this particular video, it said it would be really foolish to underestimate the gold-backed BRICS currency, man. And I will pray it so that you can see. There is another interesting video, man. I will pray it for you after this.
Vancouver, and I will look forward to seeing you there again this coming winter. But in the meantime,
what are you paying attention to the most right now when it comes to the global economy, monetary system, and financial markets?
Well, for me, I have been following a narrative for the last really over 3 years, and I started talking about the BRICS long before it became popular to talk about. in this industry or even in the mainstream. And I have been watching this coalition of countries join together against the Western hegemony, against the Western sanctions. And to me, it is I don't know, to me, it is the bouncing ball. It is really the one really important, newsworthy, completely accelerating trend that I think, before it's all said and done, will have perhaps the greatest impact on the United States. You have what amounts to 25 countries that have either expressed interest in joining the BRICS bloc or have outright applied, from Afghanistan, Algeria, Argentina, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Belarus, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Kazakhstan, Mexico, our neighbor to the south, Nicaragua, Nigeria, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, the linchpin of the dollar hegemony, Senegal.
See, and I was talking about the Bretton Woods Agreement, which led to the creation of IMF and the World Bank. In the 1970s, man, she saw that there was a huge demand of dollar because everybody was supposed to have dollars to do international trade. So there was a huge demand for the dollar, and I remember the dollar was backed by gold, man. You can only have so much gold, man, but you can print the dollar. So the American side were not being honest. So the gold was only growing marginally, but there was a lot of dollar because a lot of people demanded dollars. So there was a huge circulation of dollars since the 70s, man. That's why we always tell America started falling in the 70s, man. See, there was a lot of dollar in circulation. So those dollars started coming back to America. So there was inflation, which led to President Nixon shifting from the Bretton Woods Agreement to the petrodollar. That anybody who wanna buy oil, he should buy in dollar. At that time, you had this Eastern countries like China, and the Soviet at that, and India and Iran and all these other countries. They were coming out of World War II, so they were creating the manufacturing base, especially for China. So there was a huge demand of oil, man. So the dollar gained, that was a booster for the dollar, man. The dollar gained momentum up until now. They are propping it. And now the dollar is on life support, man. And going back to she's a mortgage crisis back in 2008, 2009. After the fall of the Lehman Brothers, that was over for the dollar, man. That was the last death blow for the dollar, man. Right now the dollar is a life support machine, man. You see, anybody who have half a brain, you know that, man. You American, you're finished. All of you motherfuckers over there in America, man, you are finished. You see, all of you who see, who think America, all of you who go down to Egypt for help, man. Let me get the scripture and I'll come back. All of you who go to Egypt for help, man, and it does not seek she is the Holy One of Israel. I say, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and they stay on horses and trust in chariot because they are men. You Negro, Latin, and Native American, man. You think America, because when you go out, you see all of this tall building, man. You see all of these subway stations and how America is decked out. I see all of this huge company, man. When you're in Manhattan, you see You are in downtown in Manhattan, you are in New York. On New York, you see the New York Stock Exchange and all of them light. You see, all of them blinking light in America, man. At one time, you see, going forward, when it is a shit hits the fan, when the shit hits the fan, is at the climax. You will wish all of those skyscrapers, man, all of those tall building, you like to see them in the morning turn into bread. You will be hallucinating. You see a tall building, you will be hallucinating. You will see like it is a loaf of bread, man. I'm not joking, man. Hallucination, man. When hunger hit. And then horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the whole one of Israel, neither seek the Lord. You see? Yet he also is wise, and he will bring evil. You see, he will bring evil, and he will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoer. What's the house of the evildoer? America. And against the help of them that walk iniquities. You see, so the Lord have risen against the evildoer, man, the American hegemony. You see, it is over for you peoples over there, man. Finish it and through.
Dan, Syria, United Arab Emirates, our ally, Thailand.
So all of them countries, they want to join in BRICS, man. Your American are finished, man. Through. I have a very interesting news here, man. Redacted.
You'll be able to tell your kids a story where...
See, oh shit, Putin and China just watched as the U.S. dig it his own grave. Finished then.
You were when the United States went into utter collapse. It happened right before our eyes. You'll tell them that the mainstream media didn't even cover it.
Some serious breaking news from the world of golf.
We are focusing on saving you some money.
Yes, the first lightning deals for Amazon Prime.
And as that translates to bread and circus. They are not telling you the truth, man. And all of this mainstream media and the Hollywood, as they all go back to the ancient Druid, casting spells on the masses of the people so that they can't wake up, man. This is the ancient priesthood on the Celtic, man. This is the ancient Druid. That's where you get the Hollywood and all of this mass media, man. They're casting spells on you. So you don't see really what's going on. You kind of getting it that America is about to fall, but hey, man, the next thing you are locked back to sleep. That's what is going on.
They arrived overnight.
They buried the story. Putin and China saw it happening. They watched as the United States shot itself in the foot. And at the same time, they signed new deals to become the dominant superpower team in the world. You'll be able to tell your kids that the clearest sign of collapse emerged when most Americans were celebrating the 4th of July holiday, buried in hot dogs and hamburgers and fireworks, blissfully unaware that, back in Washington, D.C., President Biden sent out the warning that he was actively preparing thousands of U.S. troops to be sent to Europe. Yeah, because we're at war with Russia, whether or not they want to admit it or not. They won't call it a war. They'll just send Americans to die in Ukraine. But that wasn't even the worst news, because while you were eating hot dogs, they were putting numbers together over at the CBO. Now, the kids call it the Congressional Budget Office. Numbers that were frankly earth-shattering. They didn't want to release these numbers to the public because no one's paying attention. Actually showed how the 9% higher than the... But no, that wasn't the earth-shattering story. The real story was buried on page 8. Here it is, highlighted in red. And what it showed made your jaw hit the floor. You did a double take when you saw that the United States has already accumulated a record $652 billion in gross debt interest in 2023. What does that mean? Meaning only the interest part of our U.S. debt payment is $652 billion. And then, because you're a smart person, and you looked at the projections and realized, holy shit, the report predicts the interest payments on our national debt will pass $1 trillion this year. What? Your kids are going to say, Daddy, what does that mean? And you'll explain how the U.S. is in such a catastrophic deep hole that we will have to pay $1 trillion.
So tell me, is America not a third world country? Of course, when Bill Gates one day will Bill Gates go broke, it will be different when I go broke. when Bill Gates go broke, he will still have say his house, his mansion. Of course, he's broke. He will still have some kind of money in the bank because after all, he's Bill Gates. He was rich. There is a saying over here in Africa: when a rich man go broke, it is different when a poor man go broke. When a poor man go broke, he will be homeless, man. Somewhere living somewhere in a tent. But Bill Gates, maybe he'll have one mansion left. He'll have, mortgages, man. He will have, a house to rent. So it is different. When America go broke, it is different with Tanzania going broke, man. That's what you knucklehead over there in America are not getting it, man. See, it is different. When America go broke, it is different when Pakistan go broke. See, but all of this will come full cycle, man. America will be like Pakistan. You see what's going on in Pakistan over there. But right now, what you are not getting it, America is already said you are the country, man. I have gave you the analogy. When you get to go broke, it is different when you go broke. Your eyes go broke, man. It is different.
$1 billion in interest payments just to stay in that deep hole. We are $32 trillion in debt, mostly to China and major international banks like JP Morgan Chase, who keep, by the way, getting handouts from us, U.S. taxpayers. So in order for us to keep borrowing money from China and Chase Bank, we have to pay $1 trillion in interest payments. The numbers are stunning. Just look at this new chart. This is the interest payments on our national debt exploding. And that means that in the next few months, our costliest government program is no longer Social Security or national defense. No, the number one thing that our government pays for is interest payments on our debt. That's right. More than Social Security, more than anything else. That's right. $1 trillion a year just to pay the interest on our debt. Well, what does this mean for us exactly? Well, it means that our government is spending more money on interest payments than it is on education, infrastructure, Social Security, even our military. It means that we are literally mortgaging our future to pay for our past mistakes. If you're a parent, this has to be incredibly concerning for you. You're raising children in an environment where a country is do it, but the U.S. assassinated. Do it, but the U.S. assassinated him.
There was this dude, he was going to, there was attempted to buy oil in euros and all of this basket currency. Gaddafi tried it, and Saddam Hussein tried it. They were all assassinated. As in these other Gulf countries, they tried it. Their country got overthrown, regime changes, but Russia did it. Guess what? Because Russia is in prophecy, man. Everything revolves around the prophecy, man. And America ain't gonna do shit against Russia, man. Because this is a time for Russia to do that, man. Everything got a purpose, man. For you knucklehead who don't understand in the West, you were told to think in a linear way of thinking, man. Everything have to evolve around you, man. You see, everything. It is a time for everything, man. You see, and the war in Ukraine, you ain't gonna win, man. You see, because what make Russia in prophecy when you win is the war in Ukraine. That ain't gonna happen, man. It is just 3 and 1 to everything. There is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, time to pluck up that which is planted. And now we are at the time to pluck up what was planted. Rome was planted. America is a new Rome, man. You see, it will be planted.
This guy sums it up perfectly. He's speaking Russian, but I've subtitled it for you.
Позволил себе то, что не мог сделать никто, кстати, в мире. Да, последние 2 кто-то.
Do it, but the U.S. assassinated.
So,
Да, Муаммар Каддафи.
let me translate for you. He's saying the last 2 people who tried
Do it, but the U.S. assassinated him. This guy sums it up perfectly. He's speaking Russian, but I've subtitled it for you.
Позволил себе то, что не мог.
He say Putin has dared to do what no one else in the world could do. And this is not about Putin, man. This is about the prophecy. That's what you need to
сделать
understand
никто,
out
кстати, в
there, man.
мире. Да, последние два, кто это
They say the last two people who tried it were Muammar Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein. Both were killed. The cap oil from the dollar, that was a capital offense, man. You want to decouple from the dollar? Man, they only send the NATO troop, man. And the way Gaddafi was overthrown, man, it was like a joke. It was like a joke, man. You see? The next thing in the morning, man, a troop and the troop and Tripoli, the capital city of Libya was Tripoli, man. You see, at first, when it started, Gaddafi was just, this is just another day for these labels, man. They're hungry because in Libya, certain time you had this, what you call tribalism, so there was a lot of unrest. There was a lot of people who were discontent. So when the uprising started, it started on a small town. People, some few renegade with guns and Gaddafi's out. Hey, man, this is another day for these rebels, man. It's the next thing in the morning, there were a NATO troop, man. France send troops in, and other NATO country followed, man. And he was brutally slaughtered, man.
сделать на том свете, да, Муаммар Каддафи и Хусейн. Отвязать нефть от доллара. Путин первый президент,
He said Putin is the first
при котором
president who
это
made it
случилось.
happen,
Мы
man.
начали продавать
He said we started sharing our natural resources for currency other than the dollar, the ruble, the yuan, the Indian rupee, and what have you. So all of these countries like China and India, right now, India, they think that they will be the next superpower. I see that on the internet, especially this week, man. That Indian Prime Minister, that monk, that weird-looking monkey, he went to France and he went all around the world. He was in America, and right now he's sending troops. He sent troop to Europe, and he's selling arms to these different countries, man. After the war in Ukraine, there is a system, Indian system, where you can trade with a local currency. When he went to France, he told the Indian diaspora over there, you will be trading rupees in the Eiffel Tower, man. And the F Tower, they call it the F Tower, man. You'll be paying rupee. What does he insinuating? He insinuating that India will emerge as a superpower, which is that ain't gonna happen. Without Russia, India, they could even dare to look America in the face, man. You see? And when you go and look, and we will see that when you go and look, the word bear, in which that the feet of the beast was a bear, like the feet of a bear. And when you go and look that word bear, it simply means unparalleled strength, sufficient. That's why America was able to, than Russia, why Russia was able to decouple from America, because it has sufficient strength, unparalleled strength. You see, and that it tied into their natural resources. Russia is a huge country, and it is strategically located, man. It is in Europe and Asia, at the middle. You see, strategically located. They can say we are Asia, they can say we are European. You see, they over there in the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea over there, the Arctic over there, the Arctic Cycle. So not only the Moscow gave Russia and parallel strengths a lot of natural resources, man. That's why they have single-handed Europe. Right now, Europe is crying. You see, there is energy crisis in Europe because of a single country, Russia, man. I see. They were able to handle Europe like a woman, man. You European, you look like women, man. Over there in Europe, man. Finish it and through. Weak people in Europe, man. When you're on social media, you talk like you are tough people, but really you are weak. How many of you in Europe you can go 3 days without eating, or eating 1 meal a day, one small meal a day, and you thrive, and you walk 10 kilometers a day, you have eaten 1 meal. You know, in America, when somebody say in America or in Europe, I'm eating 1 meal, like, and when you go and look that 1 meal, one heavy meal, you weak people, man. And the coming troubles will expose you people in the West. You are weak, especially Esau. Esau is a weak piece of shit, man. When this Edomite, and we see you, when you Edomite, you come over here on a tour, you come to tour, you are weak, man. And when you wanna go everywhere you wanna go, you use your car. You my car, and it's not just a car, a fancy car. You see, a luxurious car, man. You are sitting in there like a pregnant woman is spreading her leg. That's why all of you are homosexual over there in the West, man. How can a man you're sitting, you're wearing a man you're walking around wearing a pant, man? You're sitting in your car, speeding your leg like you're in labor. You wanna give birth, man. Let's fuck out here, man. And that's why the scripture tell you he will be like a chaste law, a female deer, man. And when you look, you observe real life, man. What does a female deer look when he is scared by a lion? See, that will be Esau, man. You Edomite, man. You fucking Edomite, man. You see? And we started sharing our natural resources for currency other than the dollar, the ruble, the yuan, the Indian rupee.
Ресурсы не за доллары. За рубли, за юани, за индийские рупии, за что угодно. Теперь Саудовская Аравия.
You say now Saudi Arabia has made a deal with China and they started selling oil for Chinese yuan. So America, as we talk right now, all of this talking point insinuate you American, you are not a superpower anymore. Let that sink in. And if you are not a superpower, what are you? You are in a crossroad to going from a first world country to a third world country. That's what we have been telling you, man. It will take a certain amount of time because you are rich. That's why I use the analogy. American, let's say Bill Gates can go broke. Everybody can go broke. But when Bill Gates go broke, it is different which you are as going broke. As poor people, you can have money today, but the next thing tomorrow you don't even have a house, man. You don't even have $1 in your pocket. But Bill Gates, it will take time for Bill Gates to be really broke. But when the bank, when Bill Gates go to this bank, they do their calculations. They tell, hey, you man, you are broke. But in the street, you see, he's still Bill Gates. He still have his cars. He still have his couples of his mansion. But in the bank, they did all their calculations. Say, hey man, you look broke, man. So we can't lend to you anymore because you're broke. But in the street, he's still Bill Gates. The same way with America. America is an old dog. You see, like lions, man. And when a lion go out of business, like the king of the jungle, man, but he's still an old lion. You kind of respect high on the block. You say he used to be, an austere man back when he was young, like this old Jack. And when you meet old Jack, man, he be telling on my youth I was able to fight 10 people, but when you look at him, man, and the people actually they still say, hey man, he used to be a bad dude, man. Don't mess with him, man. But really when you look at him, he is finished. The same way with America, he used to be an old dog, man. Don't mess with America. He still has that reputation. But all of that will go out of the window. America will go out bad.
Заключила договор с Китаем и начала продавать нефть за китайские юани. Если брать оборот...
Let's say, multiply the average daily turnover of 100 million barrels by 365 days and by 8 USD
100 миллионов баррелей в сутки. Мы умножаем на 366 или на $80. Получается около 3 триллионов.
He say we will get about $3 trillion a year, that annual oil market
Долларов в год –
turnover.
это оборот нефти на рынке. То есть это 3 миллиона.
He says this is oil trade alone generate $3 trillion annual turnover demand for the dollar. And that all that 3 trillion will go up in flame, man. That's why America debit is this 2023 alone, man. It is
Триллион долларов в
mind-blowing.
год только спрос на доллар со стороны нефти всего лишь. Половина отвязываем, вот 1,5 триллиона спроса на доллар в мире нету. Отвязываем газ, отвязываем...
The couple gas metal company will start borrowing in currency other than the dollar. Whoo! Even a knucklehead will understand, man. There's no future
Компании
for these
начнут
people,
занимать не в долларах, а в юанях, в рупиях.
It say, such as the yuan, the rupee, in each country own currency, our company are now borrowing yuan, and so that's why, man, when you really examine the war in Ukraine, it's not about so much military. That's a business war. That's about business, man. That's about the geopolitics. That's politics, man. The war in Ukraine is more of a politic. See, that's chess right there, man. And America have been checkmated by Russia. Europe was just a pound. Sorry for you, European, man. The British, man. British is. I don't even have words for you, Britain. Because you English man, you are finished, man. You see, and the symbol of Britain is Boris Johnson. Just look at Boris Johnson, man. On any fault of Boris Johnson, he's all over the press like a woman, man, who have not been popped for 3 years, man. All over the press, man. You see, all over the press, man. That nigga is finished, man. That English man is through. You see, it's like a woman all over the press, man. I'm not making this up, man. You English man, you're gone. And the Britain be talking about going to war with Russia. But that's laughable, man. Britain can only manufacture 40 tanks, 60 or 40, not even 100, less than 100 tanks, man. They have less than 100 tanks. Britain cannot even mobilize an army of 60,000 men. Right now, 40,000 men, they can't even do that. When you mobilize the British army, they can't even fit on one soccer stadium or football stadium. Over here we say football, on America we say soccer. They can't fit. But in Britain, when this football match are going on, stadium are filled with people, man. So why are not people don't want to join the army? Because they can see through your bullshit, man. Especially you elite, man. They see that all wars are bankers' war, man. They see that. They're starting to wake up on that, man. That's why the West will go out bad. And see, you people are finished, man. Germany. Yes, it's like an old woman, man. You see? An old woman going through the twilight. Germany was an industrial base of Europe. But after the war in Ukraine, America deindustrialized Germany. I was going through the after World War II, America managed to be a military superpower. They managed to put their currency, the dollar, as a global reserve. They managed to create NATO on a long run, and the aim of NATO was really to contain Russia. See, you have this huge military, and after the fall of Soviet Union, many people said, hey, NATO purpose is done. We need to let's say to dismantle NATO because the Soviets have fallen, and because it was a prophecy. But a lot of people say the elite, so they wanted NATO to remain so that it can do their bidding, and they after the fall of the Soviet, they kept Russia as the enemy of NATO, man, because you need an enemy to make NATO going. You see, after the 2021 pull of Afghanistan, after America pulled out of Afghanistan, there was a lot of talk about the European. We are saying we don't see the purpose of NATO because, amen. And when Trump was in power, really, he started echoing that sentiment. We don't see the purpose of NATO, man. And when Biden pulled out of Afghanistan, NATO was finished. So when the war in Ukraine came, man, you see, America, they saw France and Germany, you see, they are getting out of hand because that was the purpose of NATO. The purpose of NATO, you see, I keep on forgetting, was to contain Russia. Not only people know that it was to contain Russia. Also, the purpose of NATO was to keep Germany demilitarized. Because the rest of the Edomites, they know when Germany turn into a European industrial base, they will repeat the same thing they did during the time of World War II. This devil don't forget history. That's why when you come to Esau dealing with the nation of Israel, he know during the time of the house of David, we raised hell. So he know we have that warrior mindset in us. That's why he keep us emasculated. He want our men to be women because he know we can raise hell, man. And when you go back, all the great revolution, we caused them. Over there, Moab ain't gonna revolt against Esau, man. That's why when America get destroyed, Moab will be crying, man. What was it like into this great city? Who do you think will be saying that, man? I guarantee you it will be Moab. Moab will be lamenting, man. You can't do business anymore with America. So Moab is finished over there, man. Don't expect Moab to go against a new world order. You ain't gonna see that, man. Let's get a scripture. Let's get a scripture over there. Let's see. This is 2 Ezra 15, verse 46. And thou shalt that ye partake of the hope of Babylon, and that the glory for a person all be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her. As she so Moab wanna be Esau, man, and Ham. You see, Ham is a chocolate Edomite, especially when you meet a Hamite who educated one, man. They sound like an Edomite. This other nation, they don't have that revolutionary spirit, man. They can't go against Esau. They wanna be like Esau. That's why when the war in Ukraine happened, you saw a lot of nations. They say, why can't we live in peace? By default, they were saying, why can't you let Esau keep on ruling over us, man? You as a nation are finished, man. So back to Germany. The other purpose of NATO, it was aimed to keep Germany deindustrialized. That's why when you go back to West Germany and East Germany, West Germany was occupied at some point. You had even Britain troops over there, a NATO troop, basically, so to speak. And West Germany was the first country to join NATO, if I'm not mistaken. Then Eastern Germany, after the fall of the Soviet Union and all that, man. So, like now, Germany started to industrialize again, and America saw that and said, hey, man, this Germany is starting to get rich again, man. So through the war in Ukraine, they deindustrialized Germany. Germany right now is finishing through. The inflation of Germany are off the roof. See, Britain is done, man. And have taken their daughter in whoredom, that they might please and grow in their lover, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. So Moab, he always wanna have sex with America, man, to be crude. That's a crude language. They want to have sex with America always, man. And the harm, you see, harm he want Esau to always pop.
Да, каждая
Man.
страна в своем.
That's
Наши же
harm, man.
компании занимают сейчас в юанях. Начали занимать. В чем проблема?
He says they have started doing what's the problem, and here it is. There are less and less demand for that greenback, the dollar, man. You see, he say at the same time as we have discussed, the U.S. debit and the interest payment keep on growing. So you are shifting from being a superpower to a third world country. And that's the title of this video, man. And the demand keep on falling. The demand of what? The dollar. So all the dollars which are in circulation all over the world, they will come back to America. The chicken will come back to roost, man. That's where you get hyperinflation. I see? Like what happened during the time of the Weimar Republic. I see? Before Hitler came to power, and that was among the talking points of Hitler, among many talking points. See, Weimar Republic, what happened in Zimbabwe and Venezuela, we saw that, man. Those were just a few case studies of what will happen in America. It will be even worse, because you Americans, there's another spirit in which the Moshe gave you. You have some cold people in America, and there is a brother, a very good brother. His channel is, I think, Yashara 144. He have done a video about most of the serial killers come from America. And I said that was a good point, because that among many a spirit created for vengeance, man, because America is ready to go out of the window. There will be hyperinflation. Like I said, all those skyscraper, you will be hallucinating, and sometimes we see, if outside your house there is this huge skyscraper, when you are hungry in the morning, when you look at that skyscraper, you will be hallucinating. It will sometimes go back to being a skyscraper and a loaf of bread. See?
It's true. Russia has been demanding payments for its oil and gas in rubles, and China is moving away from the U.S. dollar in its trade with other countries. This is a major blow to the U.S. dollar, which has been the world's reserve currency for decades, but all of these countries are waking up. And by the way, this isn't just about economics, it's about power. By undermining the U.S. dollar's dominance, Russia and China are asserting their authority on the global stage. They are reducing America's influence, weakening our position, threatening our national security. And the Fed knows what's happening. The only way they'll be...
So this is a national security issue. That's where you get war. Like how Germany was threatening the British or Europe at large continent, to say national security interest, because that was a continent. There was a lot of country, Britain being the main. And at that time, Britain was a superpower, man, for you people who don't know. See, so Britain got toppled by Germany, man. That's why they had to have war. That's why a lot of time when you have this trade, right now what's going on is a trade. It's not the war. The war in Ukraine is not the war. You knucklehead think the war in Ukraine is your she. No, that's not your she. That's a trade, That's just a proxy war, man. And the interest of that is more of economy and politics. It's a geo-economy war. It's a geopolitical war. That's not your see. See? And America will come to realize that China and Russia, they threaten their security. They have been saying China is a threat to the American national security interest. They are not telling about Russia, because in the BRICS, Russia is a military party, China is an economic party. They are not telling you about Russia being the security. If Russia is not a threat to the American security, not American security, NATO security, why are they in Ukraine in the first place? So that's BRIC, like how NATO, America was the military and Europe was the economy. BRICS, yes, so there is nothing new under the sun. BRICS, Russia is the military part, and then China is the economic part. They want to topple China, they want to topple Russia. You see? So, let me get a scripture. Let me get a scripture. This is Ecclesiastes 12. And verse 3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall boast themselves, and the grinder cease because they are few, and those that look out of the window be darkened, and the door shall be shut in the street, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up as the voice of the bed, and all the daughter of the music shall be brought low, all the daughters of all joy will be brought low. Even if you see in those days which are coming, even if you see Beyonce and Jay-Z outside your window, I see they are calling your name, come out, we're gonna greet you. You ain't gonna go out because you will be hungry, you will be finished, you will be through. I see. And let's go to the Brewer Bible. There was one point I wanted to solidify, man. I want to solidify one point, man. Let's go to the Revelation 13. She say, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and that beast is not an EU, and his feet were the feet of a bear, because the end of the beast is a bear. Leave the skull alone, because the skull they have their own breakdown here. They were saying that the bear was not talking about Russia. All of this description it was just a description of the beast, a leopard being swifty, the lion being fierce, the bear being whatever, man. But through prophecy, we understand that the elders of the GMS and the apostle had it right, because the end of a beast is a feet, and right now you see it play on the geopolitics. The end of NATO is what? Russia. Right now you are seeing NATO is divided. In the Vilnius summit over there in Lithuania, there was a NATO summit in Lithuania. There was a NATO summit in Lithuania, Vilnius, Lithuania. You know what I'm talking about, man. And NATO was divided. You have the Britain foreign minister, if I'm not mistaken, he said, man, we are not Amazon. He was telling Ukraine, we are not Amazon. You can order anything, because in Amazon you can order anything. As long as you have the money, you can order anything. We are not Amazon. It was basically saying, if we want to give you armors, we need to manufacture them. And we don't have a manufacturing base in the whole entire NATO. We are running out of ammunition. And what made NATO running out of ammunition is Russia. That's the end of the beast, is a bear. So, and his mouth is the mouth of a lion. You see, and the dragon gave him power, and he seat in a great authority. The dragon was going to the Roman Empire. And NATO and EU, they are coming after the image of the Roman Empire, man. You see. So let's go to that where the bear, let's see. He feet bear. Let's see.
Strong's G 715.
A bear. Let's go to the etymology. It said to possess of unfolding strength, that's Russia. To be strong, to suffice, to be enough. Russia is enough. And what it says is their natural resources, man. So the natural resources of Russia will make this other country in the BRICS to default or to decouple from the dollar, and that will bring about the end of NATO, because when other NATO, right now you see that NATO like they are united because America still have some kind of power. When America really fall into a third world country, this NATO country will leave him, man. Like when you go during when the Odoshi was going, you had a lot of allied change lane. A lot of countries were on the allied axis, they changed and went to the axis side. A lot of countries were on the Axis side, they changed and went to the Allied side. So with this special one, I hope you brothers were edified. On to the next thing.